The Witch's Dream Book and Fortune Teller Audiobook by A. H. No. Part 10 and 11. Part 10. Signs and Auguries. Should you be the subject of a deep depression of spirits, contrary to your usual constitutional buoyancy and liveliness, it is a sign that you are about to receive some agreeable intelligence. If the crown of your head itches more than ordinary, you may expect to be advanced to a more honorable position in life. Should the hair on your head come off when combing in greater quantities than usual, it is a sign that you will soon be subjected to severe affliction. If your right eyebrow should immoderately itch, be assured that you are going to look on a pleasant sight, a long-absent friend, or a long-estranged but now reconciled lover. Should your left eyebrow be visited with a tantalizing itching, it is a sign that you will soon look upon a painful sight, the corpse of a valued friend, or your lover walking with a favored rival. A ringing in your right ear is an augury that you will shortly hear some pleasant news. A ringing in your left ear is a sign that you will in a short time receive intelligence of a very unpleasant nature. When your left ear tingles, someone is backbiting you. A violent itching of the nose foretells trouble and sorrow to those that experience it. An itching of the lips is a sign that someone is speaking disrespectfully of you. When you are affected by an itching on the back of your neck, be assured that either yourself or someone nearly related to you is about to suffer a violent death. An itching on the right shoulder signifies that you will shortly have a large legacy bequeathed to you. When you feel an itching sensation on your left shoulder, be sure that you are about to bear a heavy burden of sorrow and trouble. If your right elbow joint itches, you may expect shortly to hear some intelligence that will give you extreme pleasure. Should you be annoyed by a violent itching on your left elbow joint, you may be sure that some vexatious disappointment will be experienced by you. If you feel an itching on the palm of your right hand, you may expect soon to receive some money which you have been long expecting. When the palm of your left hand itches, you may expect to be called upon to pay some money for a debt which you have not personally incurred. An itching on the spine of your back is a sign that you will shortly be called upon to bear a heavy burden of sorrow and trouble. An itching on your loins is an indication that you will soon receive an addition to your family, if married, if single, that you are on the eve of marriage. When you are affected with an itching of the belly, expect to be invited to feast upon a choice collection of savory meats. When either or both of your thighs itch, be assured that you are about to change your sleeping apartment. If you have an itching sensation in your right knee, depend upon it that you will shortly undergo a remarkable and beneficial change in your previous course of life, and become religiously inclined. If a similar sensation prevails in your left knee, you may expect to undergo a change in your situation of an unfavorable nature. An itching sensation on the shin foretells that you will be visited by a painful and long-continued affliction. When your ankle joints itch, be sure that you are about to be united to one whom you love, if single, if married, that your domestic comforts will be largely increased. When the sole of your right foot itches, you may feel assured that you are about to undertake a journey from which you will derive much pleasure and enjoyment. Should you experience a similar sensation on the sole of your left foot, you may expect to be called upon to take a journey of an unpleasant and melancholy nature. Signs of speedy marriage, and good success attending it by sundry signs. For a woman to have the first and last letters of her Christian name the same with the man's surname, that makes love to her, denotes a great union and a generous love. For a man to have the first and last letters of his Christian name the same with the woman's surname, denotes the same. To think of a party on a sudden waking, without any meditation, on a Friday morning, that before had a place in the affections of the man or woman, is a demonstration of love or extraordinary friendship. If a ring accidentally falls off a man's finger, that is under no obligation of marriage, and runs directly to the feet of a maid or widow, it denotes not only that he is in love with the party, but that a sudden marriage will ensue. The singing of a robin redbreast at your window, in the time of courtship, on a Wednesday, is a sign you shall have the party desired. If walking abroad with your sweetheart you perceive a pair of pigeons circle around you, it is a sign of marriage and happiness to ensue. With much content. If a hare cross your path on a Saturday morning, it promises happy days, riches and pleasure. The art of telling fortunes by the grounds of a tea or coffee cup. Pour the grounds of coffee or tea into a white cup, shake them well about in it, so that their particles may cover the whole surface of the cup, then reverse it into the saucer, that all the superfluous parts may be drained off and the figures required for fortune-telling be formed. The person that acts the fortune-teller must always bend his thoughts upon him or her that wishes to have their fortune told, and upon their rank and profession, in order to give plausibility to their predictions. It is not to be expected, upon taking up the cup, that the figures will be accurately represented as they are in cards, but it is quite sufficient if they bear some resemblance to any of the 32 emblems, and the more fertile the fancy shall be of the person that inspects the cup, the more he will discover in it. In other respects, every one who takes pleasure in this amusement must himself be a judge, under what circumstances he is to make changes in point of time, speaking just as it suits. In the present, the past, or the future, in the same manner their ingenuity ought to direct them when to speak more or less pointedly and detrimentally with regard to sex. The roads, or serpentine lines, indicate ways, if they are severed with clouds, and consequently in the thick, they are said to be infallible marks of many past or future reverses. But if they appear in the clear and serene, are the surest token of some fortunate change near at hand, encompassed with many points or dots. They signify an accidental gain of money, likewise long life. The ring signifies marriage. If a letter is near it, it denotes to the person that has his fortune told the initial of the name of the party to be married. If the ring is in the clear, it portends happy and lucrative friendship. Surrounded with clouds, denotes that the party is to use precaution in the friendship he is about to contract, lest he should be insidiously deceived, but it is most inauspicious if the ring appears at the bottom of the cup, as it forebodes an entire separation from the beloved object. The leaf of clover is a lucky sign. Its different position in the cup alone makes the difference. On the top, it shows that the good fortune is not far distant, but it is subject to delay if it is in the middle or at the bottom. Should clouds surround it, it shows that much disagreeableness will attend the good fortune. In the clear, it prognosticates serene and undisturbed happiness. The anchor, the emblem of hope and commerce, implies successful business carried on by water or land. If on the bottom of the cup, at the top and in the clear part, it shows constant love and unshaken fidelity. In the thick and cloudy parts it also denotes love, but tinctured with inconstancy. The serpent, always the emblem of falsehood and enmity, is likewise the general sign of an enemy. On the top, or in the middle of the cup, it promises to the consulting party the triumph which he desires over his enemy. But he will not obtain it so easily if the serpent be in the thick and cloudy part. By the letter which appears near the emblem, the enemy may be easily guessed, as it makes the initial of his name. The letter. By letters we communicate to our friends either pleasant or unpleasant news, and such is the case here. If this emblem is in the clear part, it denotes the speedy arrival of a considerable remittance of money, but hemmed in by clouds it is quite the contrary, and forebodes some melancholy or bad tidings, a loss or some other sinister accident. If it be in the clear, and accompanied by a heart, lovers may expect a letter, which secures the party the possession of the beloved object, but in the thick, it denotes a refusal. The coffin, the emblem of death, prognosticates the same thing here, or at least a long and tedious illness. If it be in the thick, at the top of the cup, it signifies considerable estate left to the party by some rich relation. In the same manner at the bottom, it shows that the deceased is not so nearly related to the consulting party. The star denotes happiness if in the clear, and at the top of the cup, clouded, or in the thick, it signifies long life, though exposed to various troubles. If dots are about it, it foretells great fortune, wealth, high respectability, etc. Several stars denote so many good and happy children, but surrounded with dashes shows that the person's children will cause him or her grief and vexation in old age, and should be prevented by giving them a good education in time. The dog, being at all times the emblem of fidelity or envy, has a twofold meaning here. At the top, in the clear, it signifies true and faithful friends, but if his image be surrounded with clouds and dashes, it shows that those whom you take for your friends are not to be depended on, but if the dog be at the bottom of the cup, you have to dread the effects of extreme envy or jealousy. The lily. If this emblem be at the top or in the middle of the cup, it signifies that the consulting party either has or will have a virtuous spouse. If at the bottom, it denotes quite the reverse. In the clear, the lily further betokens a long and happy life. If clouded or in the thick, it portends trouble and vexation, especially on the part of one's relations. The cross, be it one or more, generally predicts adversities. Its position varies, and so do the circumstances. If it be at the top, and in the clear, it shows that the misfortunes of the party will soon be at an end, or that he will easily get over them, but if it appears in the middle, at the bottom, in the thick, the party must expect many severe trials. If it appears with dots, either in the clear or the thick, it promises a speedy change in one's sorrow. The clouds. If they be more light than dark, expect good results from wishing, but if black, you must give it up. Surrounded with dots, they imply success in trade and all undertakings, but, the brighter they are, the greater will be the happiness. The sun. An emblem of the greatest luck and happiness if in the clear, but in the thick it bodes much sadness, surrounded by dots or dashes, denotes that an altercation will speedily take place. The moon, if it appears in the clear, denotes high honors. In the dark or thick part, it implies sadness, which will, however, pass without great prejudice. But if it be at the bottom of the cup, the consulting party will be fortunate, both on land and water. Mountains. If it represents only one mountain, it indicates the favor of people of high rank, but several of them, especially in the thick, are signs of powerful enemies. In the clear, they signify the contrary, or friends in high life who are endeavoring to promote the welfare of the consulting party. Trees. One tree only, be it in the clear or thick part, points out lasting good health. Several trees denote that your wish will be accomplished. If they are encompassed with dashes, it is a token that your fortune is in its blossom, and will require some time to bring it to maturity. If accompanied by dots, it is a sign that you will make your fortune in the country where you reside. Child. In the clear part, it bespeaks innocent intercourse between the consulter and another person. In the thick part, excess in love affairs, attended with great expenses. At the bottom of the cup, it denotes the consequences of amorous excesses. The pedestrian denotes, in general, to a merchant, good business, pleasant news, and the recovery of lost things. It also signifies that the consulting party will soon enlist, or get some new engagement. The rider denotes good news from abroad in money matters, a good situation in a foreign country, or good prospects. He that doubts his fortune is promised a lasting one by this emblem. Woman signifies much joy in general. If in the clear, this emblem has a more favorable signification than in the thick, there it shows very great happiness, here, a great deal of jealousy. If dots surround the image, it explains the lady's great wealth. Child. In the clear part, it bespeaks innocent intercourse between the consulter and another person. In the thick part, excess in love affairs, attended with great expenses. At the bottom of the cup, it denotes the consequences of amorous excesses. The pedestrian denotes, in general, to a merchant, good business, pleasant news, and the recovery of lost things. It also signifies that the consulting party will soon enlist, or get some new engagement. The rider denotes good news from abroad in money matters. A good situation in a foreign country, or good prospects. He that doubts his fortune is promised a lasting one by this emblem. Woman signifies much joy in general. If in the clear, this emblem has a more favorable signification than in the thick, there it shows very great happiness, here, a great deal of jealousy. If dots surround the image, it explains the lady's great wealth. The different positions in the cup show, at the top and in the middle, that you will be in love with a virgin. But at the bottom, it denotes she is a widow. The mouse. As this animal lives by stealth, it is also an emblem here of theft and robbery. If it be in the clear, it shows you will get again what you lost, in a wonderful manner, but if it appears in the thick, you may renounce this hope. How to read your fortune by the white of an egg. Break a new-laid egg, and, carefully separating the yolk from the white, drop the latter into a large tumbler half full of water. Place this, uncovered, in some dry place and let it remain untouched for 24 hours, by which time the white of the egg will have formed itself into various figures, rounds, squares, ovals, animals, trees, crosses, etc., which are to be interpreted in the same manner as those formed by the coffee grounds. Of course, the more whites there are in the glass, the more figures there will be. This is a very pretty experiment, and much practiced by the young Scotch maidens, who, however, believe it to have more efficacy when tried on either Midsummer Eve or Halloween, October 31st. How to write love letters secretly, so that they may not be discovered. Take a sheet of white paper and double it in the middle, and cut holes through both the half sheets. Let the holes be cut like a pane of glass, or other forms that you may fancy, then with a pin prick 2 little holes at each end and cut your paper in 2 halves. Give 1 half to your friend to whom you intend to write, lay your cut paper upon a half sheet of writing paper, and stick 2 pins in these holes so that it cannot stir, then, through these holes that you cut, write your mind to your friend. When you have done, take off your paper holes again, and then write some other idle words, both before and after your lines, but if they were written to make some little sense, it would carry the less suspicion. Then seal it up and send it. When your friend has received it, he must lay his paper on the same, putting pins into the pinholes, and then he can read nothing but your mind that you write, for all the rest of the lines are covered. Another. Write what you please of a letter on one side of a sheet of letter paper with common ink, then turn your paper and write on the other side with milk that which you would have secret, and let it dry, but this must be written with a clean pen. Now, when you read it, you must hold that side which is written with ink to the fire, and the milky letters will then show bluish on the other side. Part 11. The silent language. How to converse with any person without speaking a word. This art is performed on your hands and fingers, by the 24 letters of the alphabet, which, having learned, you must spell the words you intend your friend should know. The letters are very easily learned and as easily remembered. You must understand that most of the letters are upon the left hand and made with the fingers of the right and left hand. The forefinger of your right hand you point to every letter, but sometimes that and the 2 next fingers make several letters. The vowels are very easy to remember, they being the tops or ends of your 5 fingers on your left hand, and Y is formed in the palm of your left hand. Thus, the end of the thumb is A, the end of the forefinger, E, the end of the middle finger, I, the end of the ring finger, O, the end of the little finger, U, the table, or palm of the hand, Y, 1 finger on the left thumb, B, 2 fingers on the left thumb, C, 3 fingers on the left thumb, D, your 2 fingers laid together, F, thumb, your fists together, G, stroke the palm of both hands together, H, your forefinger upon the left wrist, K, 1 finger on the back of the left hand, L, 3 fingers on the same, M, 2 fingers on the same, N, clench your left hand or fist, O, clench your right hand, P, link your little fingers together, Q, the backs of your hands together, R, the end of your forefinger to the middle joint of the other forefinger, S, 2 fingers upon the little finger of the left hand, T, 2 fingers across, X, give 2 snaps with your fingers, Z, practice a few times and you will soon be perfect. Several motions represent the likeness of the letter, as, 1 finger on the back of the hand is like L, 2 fingers like N, 3 like M. The forefinger to the middle joint of the other forefinger is like T, 2 fingers across is like X, likewise B, C, D, are easily remembered. 1 finger on the left thumb is B, 2 fingers C, 3 fingers D. But you must always remember to give a snap with the fingers between the words, so that your friend may distinguish one word from another. If you are in company, and think some others understand you, that you would not have, it will be necessary to change the vowels to some other part of the hand, and then none but your friend that knows it can understand you. Suppose you would say to a lady in a large company, "Madam, I am your humble servant." It is done thus: lay 3 fingers on the back of your hand, M. Put your finger to the end of your left thumb, A. 3 fingers upon your left thumb, D. Your finger again to the thumb, A. 3 fingers again to the back of your hand, M. And give a snap with your fingers as a sign the word is spelt. Then point to the end of your middle finger, I. Then snap your fingers. Then point to the end of your thumb, A. 3 fingers on the back of your hand, M. Then snap your fingers. Then point to the palm of your left hand, Y. Then point to the end of your ring finger, O. Then point to the end of your little finger, U. Then link your little fingers together, R. Then snap your fingers. Stroke the palms of your hands together, H. Point to the end of your little finger, U. Put 3 fingers on the back of your hand, M. 1 finger on the thumb, B. 1 finger on the back of your hand, L. Point to the end of your forefinger, E. Then snap your fingers. Put the backs of your hands together, S. Point to the end of your forefinger, E. Link your little fingers together, R. Point to the end of your little finger, V. Point to the end of the thumb, A. Lay 2 fingers on the back of your hand, N. Point the forefinger to the middle joint of the other forefinger, T. Then snap your fingers. And thus you may discourse upon any subject. If you practice it often you will soon learn to do it very quick, even faster than you can write. Thus concludes parts 10 and 11 of the Witch's Dream book. Stay tuned for part 12, Moles. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and check back to our ever-growing library of weird audiobooks.